Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, and with me tonight is
BC.
And next to him is
BB.
And across from me is
Dylan.
How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing good out there. And BC, how are you?
Good. Yeah, man. Plugging along. Counting the days to the cruise.
Yeah, Monsters Rock coming up.
Getting close.
Almost 2 months away.
A little bit.
Right? Yeah, it's in April. Well, actually, less.
Yeah.
Less. BB, how are you? How are you?
Good, just hanging in there. Nothing much to report. Going to see Casey this weekend, so looking forward to that. But other than that, I got nothing, buddy.
Good. Dylan, how about you? How are you?
It was a long day at work, a lot of meetings, but got through it. Excited to talk about today's topic.
Good. All right. Coolness. Let's go.
Hey, Whitey.
Yes, sir.
How are you, buddy?
I am losing my fucking mind. I am losing my mind.
Where is my mind?
I'm in the throes of the last couple days till the closing on our house, and as you can see, I forgot the fucking microphone. I forgot my notebook with all my shit in it, and I'm just losing my mind. So when that's over, I'll be in a good spot. But other than that, everything is good.
Woohoo!
We got some rain going on, getting rid of some of this 18 million tons of snow here in Pennsylvania, but everything's good. I thought last week was fucking awesome.
I'm sure you did.
We did Potter Than Hell Survivor, and I would have said that regardless. I was looking so forward to doing that episode, and it was so much fun. I super enjoyed it. What'd you think, BC?
It's always a good time. It's always fun. Especially this last one has so many twists in it. It's just when you thought you were doing good, and then when you thought you weren't doing nothing, then you did good.
You were kind of the
I was sneaking by.
the fulcrum on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, BC was Charlie Bucket following along on the tour as everybody else was taken out on his team each
Kept
time.
a low profile.
I didn't fight with nobody. I guess
There was a stump with BC's initials on it at Tribal Council that he was always sitting in.
It was molded to his ass by the time it got done.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Don?
It was a lot of fun, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like the move that I made, I probably would make in real life as well, because I tend to overthink that kind of decision. So, it was as much as I hate it, it was a very Dylan thing to happen.
Okay. Because you were like, oh, I would have done that, but now with a little thought behind it,
Yeah.
maybe you would have.
It's like watching a horror movie, and you don't run up the stairs, but when you're in that position, you may be running up the stairs.
Why don't we get into the running car?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
No, let's go through the chainsaws.
Yeah.
What do you think, BB?
Yeah, that was fun, and it was cool this time to actually, pick us guys, instead of, just picking musicians or whatever, a little bit more, ball busting or yelling at your virtual self. Very cool topic. Kind of easy. Just Dylan has to do a lot of reading, but I guess it's easier for us guys. But it's always a good time when we do a little Survivor series, especially like I said, just us guys. Nice, makes it a little bit more personable.
Yeah, and you're gonna find out coming up that it is fun hosting like games on the podcast, because because we do Jeopardy, so it's hard for me to decide whether I like competing or hosting them. So when you do BB Jeopardy, you'll see how it's cool.
Right.
So other than that, we have just actually today I saw that Gene Simmons announced the show by us at Ben Salem. It's the Parks Casino on July 24th, just outside of Philly. So we're kind of kicking around, checking that out. It's a Friday night, and we're thinking of that. And I know you guys aren't fans, but Tool announced that they're going to have an album next year, and they're probably going to do a Vegas residency at the Sphere, which
It's called just Sphere. There's no the. Remove the the.
oh, is it?
Yes.
Is it? Oh,
Sphere
okay.
at Las
Sphere.
Vegas.
Okay.
Weirdly enough,
Sphere.
I don't know why.
Okay. So they had Eagles at Sphere.
At Sphere, yeah.
Okay. So, and after seeing those guys a couple years ago with all the visuals and shit they have, them doing it at Sphere will be fucking insane because like remember how like when I'm always going back to this lately, the Metallica thing, and they had all that crazy shit on the screen when they didn't have a thing. Tools was like that, but not make you sick kind of stuff. It wasn't like so in your face. It was just cool and went with the lights and everything like that. So I think that will be very cool. So before we get into it, let's what are we listening to? Dylan, how about you? What do you got going?
Well, I didn't have a lot of time to listen to this stuff this week, but I did finish Ozzy's memoir, Last Rites, that was released posthumously and finished right before he passed. And I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that there was so much reflection in it that I didn't get as much with I Am Ozzy. And I just thought that he's had so much of a life to lead that just him looking back on things that he doesn't call them regrets, but things that he maybe would have done differently or he wished happened in a different way are really interesting. And it's also interesting hearing kind of the making of the most recent albums, especially with how it was really during the height of COVID that all this was happening and he was going through all the other stuff that was happening. And it's just a really good read from somebody who's lived longer than I think anybody, including himself, expected. Like there were times where he kind of wonders why it wasn't him that passed, like with Randy Rhoads, for instance. Like that he's kind of led this long life and others didn't. And, you know, it's a really good insular book that, you know, you wouldn't consider Ozzy to be like a profound human being. But
right.
He has some really captivating stuff that he goes into in this book. So I'd highly recommend it, even if you're not a memoir reader. I think it's a really fantastic read.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that he was as sick as he was.
Yeah.
And he had so many things wrong with him, like the infection on his thumb or finger, whatever. He almost friggin' died from an infection on his goddamn thumb or something like that. Like, and he was really sick, and he had a broken back, and it was crazy.
And you want to know something, BB? Zach Wilde recommended a certain back doctor to him, and like told him to get a second opinion, and he didn't. And then years later, he ended up going to this back doctor, and it was the very one that Zach Wilde mentioned to him, and basically completely fixed him. So
yeah,
jeez,
Zach Wilde for the win.
Yeah. See, and yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Speaking of Zach Wilde, how about you, BB? What do you listen to?
All right, I listen to Zach Wilde. No, I'm really digging this band out of. They're like a Swiss melodic hard rock. They're called Fighter, and it's either 5 or Fighter V. Like I tried to find on the internet, you know, what they actually go by, but the album is called Heart of the Young. It's from 2024, and these guys they're pretty much, like I said, melodic hard rock. They got the big vocals, the harmonies, the keyboards, the guitars, kind of where I go to. And they're coming out with an album this year, so I'm excited to hear, you know, the album that they're going to put out. But yeah, I've been really digging these guys, and they have a couple albums, but definitely Heart of the Young is a good listen.
All right. How about you, BB? Or the other B, BC? That guy. You.
I started checking out a band, Avalanche, with the album Armed to the Teeth. Checking out that Tail Gunner album. And I'm still digging that Kiss Buffalo 2.
Buffalo Rock City?
Buffalo Rock City 2.
All right. Yeah, and for me, I spun a little vinyl the other night, put this album on, and I don't forget how good it is, but like, I'm always like, wow, that's like a lot better than I remember it. Brittany Fox, Bite Down Hard, with the first one with Tommy Paris.
That's so good.
Fucking fantastic album. I like it better than the first two. I think it's better. It's
heavier,
more rocking. Great. I didn't miss Dizzy Dean. Dizzy Dean
Davidson.
Davidson, right? Didn't miss him at all. And I listened to one of Dylan's favorites last night, Whitesnake, Flesh and Blood.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you
know,
what.
I just finished listening to it right now.
I'll tell you what. That album is absolutely fantastic. And the song "Hey You Make Me Rock," I think it's called. Joel Hoekstra's solo in that song is fucking sick ass. Double sick bananas, BB.
Whoa!
It's like holy. I mean, just totally ripping. Joel Hoekstra and Red Beach on the same album, friggin' absolutely fantastic. Can't beat it. And then Ozzy Ultimate Sin came out. It had its 40th anniversary this last week. Check that out. And also checking out the new Tail Gunner album, Midnight Blitz, and the new Temple Balls album is really good too. BC, how did you like the Avalanche album? Did you like that?
Yes.
It reminds me of the Bites.
I was going to say it has tinges of the Bites in AC/DC.
Yeah, like the one, I think it's the title track. It's like, it sounds like Who Made Who at the end of Who Made Who, like that. So, but it's really good, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Municipal Waste, not the thrash part of it, but it's kind of like they're like that kind of band, but the songs are short and there's a lot of them. You know what I mean? Kind of like in that kind of vein. I sent that to Brad Restoven too because I know he likes the Bites and it kind of reminded me of that, so I sent it to him. So Brad, let me know what you think. And I think that's all I got. So here's what got going myself. Brittany Fox, Bite Down Hard, Whitesnake, Flesh and Blood. Also for Dylan, that one. Ozzy, Ultimate Sin, Tail Gunner, and Temple Balls. And I also have down the Avalanche album too. Avalanche for BC, Armed to the Teeth. Tail Gunner as well. Buffalo Rock City 2. That's really good too. BB, Fighter V or 5. Heart of the Young album from 2024. And they do have a new one coming out. And BB shared a song with us this week, and I thought it was really good. And Dylan finished up the book, the Ozzy book, Last Rites. So this week I kind of wanted to do something that wasn't like crazy, especially after we're all coming down off of the high of Survivor. We were on the island for a couple weeks, and we needed to just kind of ease into an episode. So BC and I have talked about this many times too, like, and actually BB too. Like we all have an enormous record and CD collection, but sometimes there's, I don't know, and like you hear, like your wife would say or something like that. I have nothing to wear. They got like a closet full of fucking clothes. I have no shoes to wear, and they have a closet full of fucking shoes. I have nothing to wear. I have nothing to do. So it's kind of like we are too. Like there's some times where like you can't decide what you want to listen to. Like if you're binging on like the new Megadeth album, and you kind of wear it out a little bit, and then you can't really think of anything else you want to listen to. So I figured, like, let's talk about our go-to albums when you're in that kind of rut where you can't decide what you want to listen to. What do you go to? Just like, what's your comfort food albums? Like when you just kind of, if you're feeling down in the dumps, and for that kind of thing. So we're gonna each talk about like 4 albums that we picked that are kind of our go-to albums that when we can't decide what to listen to. So we spun the magic wheel and we reversed the magic wheel. So Dylan's first.
Yes. So I was thinking about this, and there's a lot of albums that I go to for comfort, depending on mood. And I wanted to sort out the ones that, okay, I go to this when I'm feeling sad. I go to this one when I'm feeling... I want to go to the ones that I could put on really at any time, and, I'm going to be really into it. So, Dream Theater might be a comfort band for me, but you have to be in the mood for Dream Theater, right, BC? Exactly. Whereas the things that I'm about to talk about, I can listen to whenever I want, whenever there's a gap in my hearing and I need something to fill it, I can put these albums on. So we'll go kind of chronological order. The first album that, and the good news is you've all heard these albums, so I'll be able to talk about them. The first album that I'm talking about is a little album from 1977 called Broomers from Fleetwood Mac. This is an album that is a constant rotation in the car when we're driving to our date nights, me and Christine. And it's one that there's no skippers on there for me. I I get burned out a little bit on Don't Stop, like I said, but otherwise, Secondhand News opening the album out, I love that song. The second half opening up with The Chain is one of the best songs of all time. It's just one of those that I could sing along to, I could play air drums, play the guitar, and just have a good time with it. It's definitely one of those, I like to call them universal albums, where everybody can kind of find a song on there that they really resonate with. And for me, I mean, the song is probably The Chain and Songbird. Those are probably the two ones that I like really hit me where it feels. But, songs like Never Going Back Again with Lindsey Buckingham's crazy virtuoso picking is amazing. Gold Dust Woman is a great closer. And Silver Springs deserves to be on the album, so it is on my version of the album. But it's a great seminal album from a band that was not really tight with each other at the time. They were falling apart, but they made great music together. So that's my first comfort album. My second comfort album, we're moving all the way up to 1987, so jumping 10 years. And we're going to be visiting The Walkin' Dude with Anthrax, Among the Living. This is one that I just love. They're my favorite Big Four member of the thrash. And that's tough to say because Metallica and Megadeth are pretty up there. But Among the Living is a great album, and I love the references on it. The Stephen King-isms that are in some of the songs, and the Judge Dredd stuff. But then, also not afraid to have some fun, like with Cotton and Mosh, It's all about making fun of a guy. And then you have, the more serious aspects with Indians going into the plight of the Native American. And it's a great album that really covers all the bases and has some great riffs on it. Joey Belladonna's voice is fantastic. And the background vocals are something that I always go back to. The background vocals of Anthrax are kind of a comfort background vocal for me because it's that gang vocal yelling from Scotty Ian. And it just, it's always fun to sing along to. So that's kind of a warm hug for me. But, you think about the drums from Charlie Benante as well are just bonkers for the time, and he still is doing fantastic. So Among the Living, my next album. The third album that I want to talk about is all the way up to 2004, so jumping a couple decades. We're going to American Idiot from Green Day. This is an album that I think of this list was the first album that I kind of came to on my own. As a comfort album, obviously the songs Holiday and American Idiot were all over the radio back in the day when I was, growing up. So I would hear those constantly. Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Wake Me Up When September Ends. Hear those constantly. But then you delve into the album and you get songs like Jesus for Suburbia, Homecoming, Are We the Waiting, St. Jimmy. These are amazing rock opera songs that just go all these different places and take you on a journey. And the production by Rob Cavallo is just so crisp and clear, and you could hear everything that is makes the songs unique. I love that there's kind of an acoustic jangly guitar under a lot of the songs, and I think it adds a really nice texture to it. But it's one where I could just sing along to it. I could rock out. I could feel something with Wake Me Up When September Ends. It's an album I never get old, never get tired of, is what I wanted to say. And the album cover is so simple but so provocative. The heart shape, the hand grenade shaped like a heart in the fist. It's almost like a propaganda poster. It's so good, and it's an album that it still resonates, and even opened up the Super Bowl. American Idiot opened up the Super Bowl, so it's one that stood the test of time. And then my most recent album, this one. Brad Rustoven from Slamfest Podcast is sick of me talking about this band. Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood from Ice Nine Kills. This is kind of an album that was made for me in that it is all referencing different horror movies. And each of the songs have fun Easter eggs for you to find in there. If you're a fan of the movies, you could delve deep and see different references. But if you're not a fan of the movies, you could also really kind of get a sense of what the movie's about because they match the tone of them so well. But they're also just good songs. You listen to the one song, Assault and Batteries, which is based off the Child's Play Chucky movies. And it's just a rock and just heavy song, but also has the Toys R Us theme in there. And there's just so much love and effort put into the album that I always go back to it. I could listen to it front to back, and it'll always kind of pique my creative mood, where I'm just like, you know what, I feel like I need to be inspired by something, and I could listen to that and then hear something that I never heard before on the album and be like, oh, that's a reference to that, and kind of helps spark my synapses, because the way my brain works, every time I'm in a conversation, somebody will say something that will trigger, oh, that reminds me of this show, or there's a line from this show that I want to say right now, but it would be really annoying if I just cut off somebody referencing something that they probably aren't aware of. So this album kind of tickles that part of my brain that I really try not to push on people so much. So those are my 4 comfort albums that I go to. If I'm not in the mood for anything else, I could just put those on and have a great time. So, Dad, what do you think of my 4 albums?
Yeah, I'm familiar with all of them, which is cool. The Ice Nine Kills one, I think Brad's actually, he has an appointment on Friday to get an Ice Nine Kills tattoo.
Yeah.
I think. And
well, Nightmare on the 19th is happening tomorrow, and they're doing a tie-in to the new Scream movie. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So Brad will be in line for that. Fun stuff, and just the creativity, the time changes, like you said, the little Toys R Us thing in the Chucky song, just like crazy stuff. I was glad I got to see them live with you when we saw them down at Montage, and awesome, just great stuff. American Idiot, Green Day. That was one of the albums when you picked it. I think it was a birthday album. I was like, ugh. But then, there were more songs on there that I knew that I didn't know I knew. You know what I mean? That I didn't know was from that album. And then like you said I think it's Jesus of Suburbia. I think is
Suburbia.
This fucking kick-ass song. Anthrax Among the Living, just great stuff. Early thrash. The Stephen King. As soon as you throw Stephen King in something, I'm immediately hooked. And Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I don't think I had ever listened to that album all the way through until you picked it for a birthday album. I think it was last year or the year before. It was recent.
Yeah.
And there's some cool stuff. And actually that Loving You Was Fun. I never knew what the fucking name of that song was.
Yeah.
Never knew what the name of that song was. And I still apparently don't know the name of it.
Yeah, so you make love and fun.
So, that one. So I never knew what that was called. And I do like Christy McVie's vocals too. I don't know if I like them better than Stevie Nicks', but I like you do. But I give her kudos too. And just still, I always say it, amazing that Lindsey Buckingham does all that shit that he does with just fingers, no picks.
Yeah. BC, what'd you think?
Green Day. Green Day, I'm pretty much a hits guy with them. But when you picked that album, I again, like Steve, I knew more
There's a lot of
than
hits
I
on
thought I would.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that you hear anywhere was on that album. Oh, Ice Nine Kills. I think it's just so cool because I love horror movies and how they blend the two together effortlessly, it seems like. Anthrax, Among the Living. I can remember going back to when that first came out. I just started delving into the Metallica's, the Megadeth's,
The heavier
Anthrax, the what was different from, I guess you say, my wheelhouse back in the day. But it's Anthrax. And Fleetwood Mac. I'm a diehard Stevie Nicks fan. I've seen her twice live. So, I love anything Stevie Nicks is involved with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can't go wrong with that neither. Mm-hmm. And again, a lot of more songs on there I know than I thought I would.
Yeah. BB?
Yeah, Rumors from Fleetwood Mac. Great album, classic album, still standing this test of time, being released in 1977. Still hearing the big hits on the radio, like Dreams and, Go Your Own Way of the Chain. But that's a great album, like your dad said, when you brought it in for a birthday album. I think that Gold Dust Woman is probably my favorite on the album. And it's a closer and it's deep, but, it grabs you and it makes you want more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a great album. Among the Living from Anthrax, it's freaking Anthrax. Joey Belladonna just really brings that band, to a different level. Indians is just so good. Crazy mosh pit music, and then you like between that and Caught in a Mosh. Another one under I Love Skeletons in the Closet.
Yeah.
Great song. Just a great thrash metal, and it's heavy right on through. American Idiot from Green Day. These first 4 songs, the way you start off your album, American Idiot, Jesus of Suburbia, Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, like,
Yeah.
this is their sophomore album, right? So
No, it's deep in their catalog. I'd say it's maybe 5.
so maybe it's only the second one I know, because I only know the Dookie one.
Yeah.
Is this right after Dookie?
So
Oh
no.
Okay, I didn't know what I'm talking about.
It's okay.
with Green Day.
It's okay, BB. Yeah, Dookie came out in '94, so it was 10 years.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Really?
Son of
I
a
would've-
bitch. All right.
Wow.
All right, but they really outdid themselves, starting your album with 4 big hits like that. Great band, 3-piece drummer on there is absolutely killer. And then Ice Nine Kills, these guys are, if anybody said like a newer band, these would be the guys I would say, you know what, I really like in the last 20 years, I really like these guys for their musicianship and how they just write songs and, bring the movie tunes and the cartoon sounds and the video game sounds into this big collaboration of an album, and it's all over the place, and it's like really, really good. I don't know how they do it. It just seems like they throw everything in a blender, and it comes out amazing.
Yeah.
Great band, great album, and yeah, they're definitely one of those bands I like to go and just at least throw a couple songs on here and there, just like listen to them just go off. It's crazy, but yeah, 4 good albums.
Thank you.
Wouldn't it be cool if they did like an album of like the Universal monster movies,
Yeah.
or like the Blob, or It Came from Outer Space,
Yeah,
or
like
whatever?
the older-
you know what I mean? If
yeah.
they did something like that, that'd be cool too. If
Yeah.
they kind of went retro, but like it would be the same kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So whatever your name is, there, Ice Pick guy,
Spencer Charnas.
Spencer Charnas. Yeah.
They did Dracula, because they did Every Trick in the Book, where they did the book ones, and that
Okay.
was before Silver Scream.
Oh, okay.
So
But that would be cool though.
yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. That would be
All right.
awesome.
Cool albums. All right, BC, you come up next in the rotation. What do you got?
Oh, I don't know. Like when you brought this up, I mean, I'm like Dylan. You got to be in the mood for certain things. So I'm like, oh fuck, I have to find something that no matter what, I just want to. I can throw on and not hesitate. So I had to really think back throughout the many years I've been listening to tunes. So there's very few that I would think, but I would start off with 1987's Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Nice.
I remember when this first came out. Again, it was back in the heyday of hair metal, so to say. And like these guys were different. There's no fanciness. There's pretty much
The Street.
street and just out of control. I guess you could piss. You didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know if they were going to be there from one day to the next. And then I went to see. They played around here locally, opening up for Aerosmith. Right? Yeah, Aerosmith. And just as good as the album is, they were that much so raw and so just different for that time.
You could go off the rails at any second.
And any second, and a few members went off the rails, but we'll leave that go for now. But yes, I mean, it's so easy. It's just such a great song. Night Train. I remember this came out, and then me and my buddies would be going to the liquor. I think it was a liquor store at that time, and buying the Night Train it was $1.25 a bottle. It tasted like piss, but we drank it because Guns N' Roses sang the song Night Train. So of course we're going to drink it, and it tastes like shit. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. My Michelle, see the hits I don't like. Anything Goes, like Rockin' Queen to me is just a great. You're Crazy. Songs like that are just back and then. I was fucking off 16, 17 years old. Oh, so it was just this stands out. No matter if it comes on, I don't turn it off. I don't even Paradise City, and I'm kind of burned out on that. But I would not turn that off. It's just something about this whole album. Just I could throw it on and look. So, a year later, another band comes out. Kind of has some ties to their first band many months later, but remember this album coming out, LA Guns, self-titled debut album, 1988. Again, they came out and it was just something that set them apart from every other hair metal band at the time. And again, I didn't catch these guys for another year later, but this whole album just has such a rawness to it. Just a I don't care attitude to it. The production on this is just like not overdone, just done enough that you can enjoy it.
Yes.
You know, songs like Sex Action, Electric Gypsy, Bitch Is Back. Even though that music, that little musical Cry No More theme that goes into one theme, but Shoot for Thrills is an old song from Kelly Nichols' first band before LA Guns, so it's pretty cool. And again, you can throw this on any time, and there's not a skip around it.
And Tracy Guns is the Guns in Guns
Tracy
N'
was
Roses.
the Guns and Guns N' Roses back before either one of those bands, I guess you could say.
Well, good thing they kept it, because then it would be Izzy and Roses.
Izzy and yeah. You're Izzy and Roses.
Slashing Roses.
Slashing Roses. But I'm going to stick with 1988 because that was a pretty good musical year. Another band that came out that, you know, had a lot of ties to our area and that played a lot around us here was band Dirty Looks with the album Cool from the Wire. I mean, again, very straightforward rock, not too polished. It was cool because they're around here a lot, so you kind of felt like, yeah, we know, yeah, this is the band we know, yeah, right, like hometown boys almost. But you know, Cool from the Wire is just, it's not the way you rock. No Brains Child, Get Off. I mean, this album you can play it over and over and over. Now skip around. This album, Ernie, the albums I mentioned so far tight. Then I'm gonna the year of my graduation, 1989, but probably the most easygoing music out of my four, with Diving for Pearls. They actually did come out with the second album, but I don't think it was massively released, so I call them a one album band. They had a big hit back in the day, Give Me Good Lovin'.
Give me good loving.
That one?
No,
Give
no.
me all your loving?
No,
Is
no.
that what you need to say?
No, Good Lovin'. But another good band, but this is more radio-ish, more has keyboards throughout it. There's rockers, there's mid-tempos, there's some slower tunes. Just a combination of everything. I could toss in this, and I like it. Every now and then you hear that Give Me Your Good Lovin' song come on. Not too often, but it pops on the radio every now and then. But this is one you can just throw on and just let it play through. So there are four that I can throw on and let play through. No matter what my mood is. Angry.
Mostly.
So this would calm me down, and the others might not. But.
Yeah.
BB, what do you think?
All right, I really got to check out this
Diving for Pearls.
Diving for Pearls. All right, I'm sure they're not on streaming, so I'll have to YouTube them. I'll check them out. You know, who knows, BC? Maybe their other album will be on there.
I looked like.
No. All right. Well, maybe I'll find both on YouTube. You never know, or no? Who knows?
There's some live shows on.
Yeah, all right, I'll check it out. Yeah, then Guns N' Roses Appetite. You know, it's the album of 1988. You know, that's pretty much the album of the close to the 80s. That thing was so big. Yeah, everybody and their mother loved this album back when it came out. These guys were so raw, so different. You know, they were heavy. So many good songs on that album. LA Guns. These guys are great. These are like that sleaze rock you go to. You know, these are one of these bands that always played at, you know, M3. They always opened up for somebody. You know, they played on the boat. So these guys have been around for a while. You know, these guys, we've probably seen these guys as many times as we've seen Kicks. You know, and they never disappoint for me. I always love these guys. just the sleaziness of them guys. Great band. And then Dirty Looks, Cool from the Wire. Another great band. Dirty Looks is always one of those bands, like, they're almost, for me at least, I kind of forget about them. Like, I know we've kind of seen them around here a couple times, Wilkes-Barre and stuff, but these are just that band. I don't have a hard copy of any of their albums.
Oh, yeah?
And so it's, yeah, I thought I had this, but I don't think I have it.
Well, watch him close, BC. He might be
So,
trying to...
yeah, so cause a diversion here, Dill.
Hands out the merchandise.
Yeah, but these guys were great, and like BC said, these guys were young when we saw them. Trying to make a name for themselves, and they went out. They weren't worried about how polished they sounded. They just went out and they were just like that raw, later '80s sound. I love the four different. Well, I don't have a thing on that, but just the difference of like the hard rock, the sleaze, the rawness, local. Great stack there, kid.
Dylan.
I'll go in order of my familiarity with the albums. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Definitely the first album that I experienced as a kid that I was like, this is a perfect album. This is amazing. And it's one where you hear so much of it on the radio, but the stuff that you don't hear on the radio is also really good. But what I like about the album is like Axl's Axlisms, like the yowza at the end, and just Slash's riffs are so good. And Steven Adler's drumming is so underrated because I always think that it feels so natural, where the fills that he does, it's perfect for air drumming because it goes exactly in the pocket that you think it's going to go into, and it feels just good. I don't know, it feels like good drumming. LA Guns, one of the two LA Guns albums that I'm familiar with. Great stuff on there. Sex Action S-E-X. Great song. And I think it's a fun album. I'm a bigger fan of the other one with the woman in the pistol.
Oh, next one, Cocktail Loaded.
Yeah, Cocktail Loaded. I think that one I like the songs on that a little better. But this is a really good album as well. And Dirty Looks, I do know some Dirty Looks. Oh, Ruby, I know. And they're good. They are really good. Of course, I didn't have the the opportunity to see them in the local area like you all did. But I think it's a really good album. And of course, you had to throw in one BC album where none of us know what the hell it is. And we're like, okay, Diving for Pearls, cool.
Never heard of them. You can't listen to them.
Yeah, one album band, and okay, cool. So it wouldn't be a BC. I was very surprised when you brought out Guns N' Roses because I'm like, that's way too mainstream for BC. Like, where's the off the beaten path? And then of course you bring in Diving for Pearls. But the other three albums, the stuff that I know, I think those are definitely Guns N' Roses for sure would be a go-to album for me as well, because that's a no-skip album from the opening riff of Welcome to the Jungle to the closing track of Rocket Queen. I think it's a perfect album.
Like you said, I agree. Steven Adler was such a cool, not technical by any means, but just his style and his feel for the music fit perfectly.
They should have put Move to the City on the album, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love Move to the City.
And the one in Live Air is great.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the band.
Love it. Yeah, Diving for Pearls, I know I've heard them, but I'm not familiar with them. So I will maybe BB's going to take the Dirty Looks, and I'm going to take this one, I think. Yeah. Give it a shot.
I'll take Guns N' Roses, and we'll just leave it with LA Guns.
There you go. But I will have to. I'm sure I've heard that song before, so I have to. I'll hope for it to come on Hair Nation one of these days again. So, but Dirty Looks, Cool from the Wire. When this came out, this was like, because we had seen these guys before this came out, even because they were around. They were like a club band around here. They were playing fucking everywhere. And when this came out, I mean, a lot of people were like AC/DC-esque. I mean, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was in a band, they said, "Oh, you guys, you're AC/DC like." I'd be like, "Thank you." People take that as an insult. I'm like, I don't think it is. But I've seen probably them do this whole album, I'm sure. But when they played a Monsters of Rock cruise like 2 cruises ago with Jason McMaster singing for them, that whole fucking pool deck was going nuts like we were for Massive Wagons, BB.
Wow.
I think half the crowd left, bought a shirt, and went back in the crowd. They fucking kicked ass. We had Bruce rocking with us. We had Richie rocking with us. It was just an absolutely fantastic show. We've seen these guys in the clubs around here. We saw them right before the one club that they played in burned down like a couple of days or a couple of weeks later after we saw them there.
Stop pissing.
But just like I said, songs like No Brains Child, fucking fantastic. It's Not the Way You Rock, title track. Get It Right. Just some really good, just solid, straight up hard rock from these guys. LA Guns, self-titled. I like this one better than Cocked and Loaded. Cocked and Loaded is really, really good. But there's a couple songs on there that I don't like. There's no skippers on this one for me. Like One More Reason, Sex Action, No Mercy. And it's a quick album too. It's like short songs, but like they just rock. And you can feel the energy of this band on this album. If this album had the production of Cocked and Loaded, it wouldn't be half as good. It would not be half as good. So I not that I don't like Cocked and Loaded, but this is my go-to LA Guns album. Appetite for Destruction. I don't even need to look at that. And I remember back in the day when Live Like a Suicide was out, and that's what they had out on the West Coast. My buddy sent me a copy of that tape, and so I was listening to these guys like, I don't know if it was a year or 6 months before this hit, but like I knew their name and I knew them, and I was like, even then I'm like, this is different. This is, like you said, this is different from what we're listening to. This is not Motley Crue. This is not Poison. This is not. It's not Priest. It's not Maiden. It's
Totally different.
And it's not even something in between. It's just something totally different. And just the rawness, the topics, like it was street. It was like I can't think of a band at that time that was singing about heroin, and crack. You know what I mean? It wasn't done. And then everyone and their fucking brother was singing about that shit after these guys. But they trailblazed this stuff. They really did. And I was we talked about it a couple shows ago. I think when Jen was on, we talked about when she had Paradise City on her list. That when we did see them, it was coming right off that Donington show where I think 3 people got crushed to death or something during their show. And but like, remember the amount of people at that fucking show in BC? It was crazy. It was just Guns N' Roses on the Appetite tour, and it was Aerosmith on the Permanent Vacation tour, and it was just insane at that show.
Such a great show.
Two absolutely fantastic picks, or 4 absolutely. Well, three and a half. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on the Diving for Pearls. So I'll have to look them up and check them out. So all right, so there's our first 2. So first 2 guys going with their albums, Dylan and BC. And BC picked the gem song today. So what do you got, BC?
All right. So again, trying to stick with some newer stuff I've been delving into. I don't know if it was when you guys mentioned this band. I read somewhere on Facebook maybe about these guys. I have no idea. But anyways, it's the band Mad Hatter off the album Welcome to Wonderland with the song Please Me.
Okay, hope you guys enjoyed some Mad Hatter with Please Me that BC picked out. So check it out, give them a shot. And we're going to do Hidden Gems this time. So, Dylan, what do you got?
Well, I think I'm gonna go with "Move to the City" live from Guns N' Roses. I think it's a very underrated song from them. It appeared on their "Live Like a Suicide" EP initially, but was on their Live Era album, and it's also on this deluxe edition of Appetite for Destruction. So definitely check it out if you haven't listened to it. It showcases some like kind of
It's almost like a big band.
yeah,
part in the
like
middle.
yeah, like some swing almost to it, and I think it's a fantastic underrated song from Guns N' Roses. And if they did like more of that stuff later in their career, I would have been a lot more on board than
Some of the other stuff.
some of the other stuff.
All right, BC, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna get my soapbox.
Oh boy.
I always preach for the underrated, but I always bring up or mention something always about Babylon AD. I think I just did 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, whatever it may be. I guess in December 2025, they came out with a cover of Rod Stewart's "Sailing." And I'm thinking they play something. I mean, I heard this song before. Like, it's a cover of the Rod Stewart's hit from 1975.
It's like a slow song, right?
Yeah, but then it goes into like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, it's 5 minutes long compared to the original, but
Okay.
they do a little
Extra.
music, yeah, a little extra to it, a little touch of Babylon AD.
All
I'm
right.
thinking of a song "Sailing," but it's probably not Rod Stewart. It's probably like Christopher Cross or something.
Yeah.
You're thinking it now.
Yeah,
okay.
Sail.
No.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Oh, the other one, the other sailing song from the.
Sailing takes me
Your
away.
way.
And there's our musical portion of the night. I'm going to go next, I think, here. We saw these guys live once. They opened up for Rat. I'm not sure if it was Jizzy Pearl singing for Rat or if it was the one John Corabi was playing guitar for Rat. It was one of those two. And we saw it at where we see a lot of a bar called Tinks. And the band is called Caroline Spine. And the album is called Monsoon. It came out in 1997. And really, this was a band. We went in, no idea who they were, never heard the name before. And they were one that we walked away like, holy shit, this was friggin' fantastic. So check them out. Caroline Spine, the album is Monsoon from 1997. BB, what do you got?
All right, we'll go to 2022 with the band Remedy off their album Something That Your Eyes Won't See. The song is Screaming in Silence. These guys they're like that arena, the AOR band stuff. Great vocals, more hard rock guitar playing, great stuff. But that song really stands out. Scream in Silence from Remedy.
All right. So there's our hidden gems. I got Caroline Spine, Monsoon from 1997. BB has some Remedy. Song is Screaming in Silence. BC's got a little Babylon AD covering Rod Stewart's Sailing. And Dylan's got a little G and R doing Move to the City. And my personal pick of that is the one from Live Era because it's great. And it's long. It's got a lot of cool shit in it. So we'll get back into the lists. And I came up next in the rotation. And I looked at my list and I was like, wow, I really the newest one. Because we're going back to when you were influenced by stuff and everything like that for me. So my first one is going to be Styx Grand Illusion. It came out on 7/7/77, and this was one of the very first albums that kind of lured me away from the total Kiss world that I was into. I was at my cousin's house. I believe they were in. I was mistaken. I always thought it was in California, but it was in Virginia. It was the summer of 1977. I was there. We were there visiting, and I remember going through my cousin Robin's record collection, and I saw Styx Grand Illusion. I put it on. Another album that just like totally blew me away. And this one, no skippers on it for me. Opens up a Grand Illusion, Fooling Yourself, the Angry Young Man, the guitar, the keyboard thing at the beginning. Superstars, little short song, fantastic. Come Sail Away, still a staple on classic rock radio. My personal favorite Styx song, Miss America, the James Young sings. I just love that. The That riff is absolutely fantastic. And then two kind of like the prog side of Styx, Man in the Wilderness and Castle Walls. Just two great songs like that. The dee 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 dee, like it just like the different time changes in those two songs are fantastic. And grand finale kind of has a couple parts of a couple different songs in that kind of finale and that one. And my second album that I listened to on this same trip, and this I was already really loving live music because I had Kiss Alive and Kiss Alive 2 by the time that I was. Actually, I don't think Kiss Alive 2 may not even have been out. I'm a little shaky on the timeline on these. But the album's Frampton Comes Alive, Peter Frampton, and that one came out in 1976. So I remember just like loving that album. Recorded at the Winterland in San Francisco and a couple other places throughout the United States. But it really, really sounds like a cohesive concert. Opens up with Something's Happening, Doobie Wah. Then it goes down a little bit for Show Me the Way, Plain Shame, and don't get me wrong, there are a couple skippers on this album for me, like Show Me the Way. I think sucks.
Come on, that's the first.
No. I'm sorry, not that. All I Want to Be Is by Your Side. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the first instance of Talk Box.
No, that's the one I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What the hell is that?
I fucked that up. All I Want to Be Is by Your Side. I don't like that. Wind of Change is not great either. But Baby I Love Your Way, there's like a little block there that I can kind of just lift the needle and fucking skip. But then it goes to I Want to Go to the Sun, Penny for Your Thoughts, which is a little acoustic thing that is really cool. Then I'll Give You Money, heavy fucking song for this time of year. Shine On, a great version of Jumpin' Jack Flash. Lines on My Face, some amazing soloing in there, and of course the classic rock staple, Do You Feel Like We Do, like Talk Box Central, just absolutely. I could do that Talk Box in my head and like sing it as it's going. Absolutely freaking killer. My next album is Kick's Midnight Dynamite from 1985. A lot of people go to Blow My Fuse. I think Tom and Zeus were talking about this a couple weeks ago in one of their episodes. But I'm a Midnight Dynamite guy. And I had seen Kicks at least twice already, by the time that Midnight Dynamite came out. And the cover with Steve Whiteman with the microphone, the stick of dynamite with the fuse lit. He came out on the stage for that show at Rocky Glen with that microphone with the stick of dynamite and the fuse lit. There's one kind of song on here that I'm not really totally crazy about, but title track is fantastic. Red Hot, Black and Blue. I love the background vocals in that. Bang Bang Balls of Fire, Lion Rubber. Walking Away, I think, is an absolute fantastic ballad, and they do not get credit for that at all. And people go to the what's the one on Blow My Fuse? Don't Close Your Eyes. I'll take Walking Away anytime. Anytime I will take that. Scarlet Fever I like. Cry Baby I don't really like. That's the only song on there that I don't really care for. Cold Shower. And I spun this on vinyl last night, and I'm like, I totally forgot about Lie Like a Rug. Cool song. Ends with Sex. And my fourth album kind of surprised me that I picked this, but I was kind of going back and what do I listen to more? Of course, I went to classic Kiss, and I went with the self-titled album. I think it's my go-to Kiss album, because you hear, and we've been hearing, Black Diamond and Deuce and Cold Gin and all that stuff for years in every show. But I do like to go back to the roots of it and hear those, if you will, slower versions and how they were originally played. And because I remember sitting in that back bedroom at my grandparents' house and just between this and Love Gun and Destroyer, flipping these tapes over time after time, play, flip, and this one, I think I go to this one more because I don't even mind Love Theme from Kiss, where I kind of lean towards liking Love Gun a little more, but I skip Then She Kissed Me because I hate that song. But I don't skip anything on this. So
We'll talk about the Strutter version, where Strutter's in place of Kissing Time, the original pressing. So
I like Kissing Time, though.
Okay.
I like Kissing Time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind that
don't
song
mind
at all. I rather like it. I think it's good. It's catchy. It's fun. What do you think, BC?
Kicks. I mean, that is a great album. Those first 3 albums, I think are good. And then, not to blow my fuse, but Below My Fuse is up in some extra layers of polish on it. It was it as
They have the clear coat and the polish.
clear coat and a quick buff job. But that Below My Fuse, Midnight Dynamite album is that's a constant. That's almost throw it on, you just let it play through. Kiss, I mean, it's what started it off for me, and I think you're maybe not maybe.
It was double platinum, baby.
Okay.
You like DP right off the bat.
That's right.
Frampton. That was funny. You're saying, I could do without that. I'm like, that's so fucking...
No, I messed up on that one.
How is he doesn't like that song. But yeah, that's a good album.
Yeah, I do like that one. I messed up on that one. It's the other one.
Yeah, you did mess up on that one.
I did.
You messed up. And I'm drawing a blank. Your fourth one was
Grand Illusion.
Grand Illusion Sticks. I mean, yeah, the order Sticks is so. I mean, don't get me wrong. For that time frame, that was one hell of a band back in that day. I thought. I mean,
Still are.
still are to this day. But, I mean,
It was Dennis DeYoung's birthday the other day.
let's not print them up. Sore subject there. But no, 4 good picks.
All right, BB.
All right, Styx Grand Illusion, the Grand Illusion. Yeah, this is a great album. I love the Grand Illusion, the opening track, Grand Illusion. It's just so theatrical, and it like welcomes you into this album that you're going to listen to. It's so different than like a rocking opener. It's like an introducing you to the album. It's just so theatrical. Come Sail Away. It's like the big hit off of there, of course, and your favorite Miss America. The grand finale, great closer. All right, Frampton Comes Alive, another big album from the 70s. You got to think when you're talking, one of the original live albums that we listen to live albums. This is a guy who pretty much started it and got his live album out on mainstream radio. And once again, it's so far back you still hear the live version of
Do you feel like we do?
do you feel like we do still playing today? Yeah, definitely another great pick. Great live stuff on that one. It Kicks, Midnight Dynamite. These guys are great. It was always the running joke. We were so sick of these guys because they would always play at M3. But these guys are just fun band to watch, fun band to listen to. And like even before we were doing sex, like all 3 of us, like in sync, we're doing it because that's what they did. Just a great band, fun band. And then Kiss, the foundation, pretty much, why we're here, why we're talking. And I'm glad you brought this one because I'm still in my head. I'm still teetering. You know what I mean? There's 2 that are teetering. So I'm glad you brought this up. This is definitely one of those albums that I always go to. It's usually either this or Crazy Nights. I either go back to one or the other. I just love the difference of how they sounded, how they grew. But yeah, 4 fantastic albums, sir.
And I got to say just 2 more things real quick. I have to thank BB once again. He was able to procure a first pressing of the Kiss album for me when he was out in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate it, and
Yes,
I still
sir.
listen to that. Strutter skips, but it's from 1974. But
Make Stutter, right?
yeah, Stutter. Yeah, no shit. And as far as Kicks goes, I'm glad they called it quits when they, probably mostly Steve Whiteman, but like when they couldn't be at their peak
It was
anymore.
It was a combination of Whiteman and
Brian Forsythe?
Jimmy Chocolate.
Oh, Jimmy Chocolate?
He was-
Yeah, he's been having health problems. So I'm glad that they didn't stay too long at the party, as some people like to say.
I thought you said Sticks, not Kicks. I'm like, Kicks is still going, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but the last albums haven't been great. But
No, they haven't. Yeah. What do you got, though?
yeah, these are all pretty classic albums. I think we've talked so much about the debut Kiss album. Of course, has some of my favorite Kiss songs on there. Let Me Know, Cold Gin, Nothing to Lose. A lot of really, really good stuff on there. Frampton Comes Alive, Peach Top, Peach Tails never fails. The man's a consummate professional, a gentleman. Loved seeing him live, and hearing this album always brings me back. And this one's called Doobie Wah. Just like the little live-isms that I enjoy on this album that are always really great. And like you said, I'll Give You Money as a showstopper if you, of course, put aside the ultimate showstopper of Do You Feel Like We Do. Just a classic live album. The live album to end all live albums for sure. Midnight Dynamite from Kix. I do like this album quite a bit. Title track is fantastic. They were great live. Seeing them as much as we did. That kind of a good. I could see them being a comfort band for you because you've experienced so much with them, because we've seen them so many times at M3 and other places, and it was kind of that band that was always there. And they're still always here, but in album form now. And then Styx Grand Illusion. It's so interesting about Grand Illusion because Come Sail Away, of course, being the first Styx song I ever heard. You're listening to it and you're like, why is this on rock radio? This is not a rock song. This is like a piano, but like, what's going on here? And then it kicks in and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. But it goes so long being kind of a light ballad. Dennis DeYoung is telling this story about looking to the sea and reflections in the waves sparking as memories. Like you're like, what the hell's going on here?
And then it takes a left.
And then it takes a sharp left, and it's great. And I think it's such a good album for that kind of theatricality, like BB said. Even though this is not the album that is kind of like the concept album of going to the theater, which is funny, but the Grand Illusion. I mean, that's what it's all about. But Miss America, I love the beginning of Miss America. The keys,
The keyboards
like
are cool.
Like that's such a movie.
It kind of lulls you into a sense of false security.
It's kind of almost a short version of the Come Sail Away kind of switch up, where you're like, what's going on here? And then the JY songs are always great. He does the best song on Kilroy Was Here with Heavy Metal Poisoning. But those are all classic albums and albums that I definitely associate with you for sure. Especially Styx Grand Illusion. That's like this is a Steve album. So I could absolutely understand these being your go-to albums.
All right. BB, you got your list left. What's up?
Alrighty, here we go. Yeah, this list was tough, but it wasn't tough because like a lot of these albums, the three of these albums, I go to a lot, but they're also foundation albums for me that kind of got me out of the Kiss window into something different. And like I said, I think I don't know, last episode, 2 episodes ago, these are the albums I think I have most time with. So I know what I'm going to get. It's very familiar. I know all the words to all the songs. I know all the drum beats and guitars. It's comfort. So like I know what I'm going to get compared to if I go and listen to the Pearls Before Swines or whatever we talked about before. I don't know what I'm going to get. And I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. At least with these 4 albums, they're rocking right out of the gate. There's no skippers. It's security for me in a way. The first album, Def Leppard, Pyromania. I got this album in the Christmas of 1983 from my cousin. Played the crap out of it. Still love this album today, and still, we always have the running joke here with the Def Leppard albums. But this is my foundation. I just absolutely love these guys from the minute I pushed the play button on the cassette player, and I haven't looked back. Their first couple albums are absolutely great, And these are one of those bands I learned who they were, and then I kind of had to work backwards. But of course, you have your big hits of, Photograph, Foolin', Rock of Ages. But like the deeper tracks on that album are just so good. And Coming Under Fire, Action No Words. Billy Got a Gun, I love how that song ends. It goes bang, bang. But then you do that. Literally the first time I thought I heard it, I thought my tape, how like your tape was getting eaten? Like I read all like, oh, okay. And then like I stopped it and I flipped it over and I remember rewinding it. And then like the next time I listened, I got to that end. I'm like, it's just a funny, I could see it. It's so weird, but just a cool way to end the album with like bang, bang. And then that, whatever they do there.
Like how Take Your Whiskey
Cool.
Home is.
Just a cool ending. Like you think your tape's getting eaten or your...
No.
It's the first time I played it.
Got it.
What a cool, fun thing to have happen. You're right, BB.
Oh, man. But yeah, what a great album for me. So many memories on that. Then we're going to go back to 1984. 2 albums from 1984. First one we're going to talk about is Dio, Last in Line. Boy, I really wish they would remaster this the way
The
Holy Diver was.
The Joe Barisi.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so good. But yeah, I learned of this album from my buddy Chris's brother. He had this album. We just thought the album cover was so cool. Just a different look for us. For like 80, like we're 12. We're not even 12 yet because we're probably we're 12. Just a cool, different sound these guys had, and just like the storytelling, the way Dio would sing, and just he always paints a picture in my head every time he sings. It doesn't matter if it's something from Last in Line or all the way down from Lock Up the Wolves. The way he sings, the way he writes, he always paints a picture in my head, and I love that. Breathless is so good. Like more deeper tracks that I want to talk about. Speed at Night. One Night in the City is a little slower, but it still rocks. It has a great pickup at the end. And the close with Egypt. Such a great guitar work on that album too. And that was and he was just one of those guys I always stuck with, went back and got Holy Diver, and then continued with everything he's released. I absolutely love. Then we're going to stay in 1984, and of course we're going to go with the self-titled 1984 from Van Halen. And I kind of teetered on which one I was going to pick. It was kind of like a tug at my emotions, but I'm going to pick 1984. This is where I came in from Van Halen. And of course, these two guys are going to say, that's because it's Dave. And no doubt, this album was big. This album was huge in 84. It was all over the place. With Jump in Panama and Hot for Teacher and I'll Wait, all over the place. But I actually, once again, some of my favorite Van Halen songs are from here, and they're the deeper cuts, like Top Jimmy, Girl Gone Bad, love Girl Gone Bad, House of Pain, a great closer. So rocking for 1984. And, and not a lot of people know this song. And that album was everywhere. And that, and still to this day, I still have a Eddie Van Halen. Well, now it's on the Jeep, and that's on Killian's car, but I still have my Eddie Van Halen license plate front.
Take it back.
I know, because then you'll know it's me going by.
Yeah.
How are we going to know it's you?
I know, exactly, right? So now I'm like incognito. You know what I mean?
Undercover.
I could flip you out the window, and you'd be like, some guy fucking flip me off. And then my last album, we're gonna go back to 1988 with Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. This is my love for Zach. This is the first time my friend got this album. And back then, we knew of Circus and Hit Parade, and when you first hear Miracle Man, you're like, holy shit, who is this guy? It wasn't Jakey Lee. And it just blew me away from day one. Recording Miracle Man, we used to have a TV station that would play videos at like midnight, so I'd always set up my parents' VHS recorder and record the videos from it was like USA Network. It would, there was something else that would play videos at like 3:00, just hoping to hear something new. But yeah, this album really changed me, changed the way I kind of got a little heavier. 88, there's a lot of good stuff coming out at that time, but this album was really good. And once again, more of the deeper tracks, Bloodbath in Paradise, Tattoo Dancer, Demon Alcohol. Such a great album from Ozzy, and with Zach playing, like I said, he just kind of took my eardrums over, and I haven't looked back. So they're my 4 albums, like more I go to, but like I said, more of my foundation. Alrighty, righty.
Okay, I'll go in reverse. Ozzy No Rest. It was always, not fun how it started, but kind of fun how it went along. Like when Ozzy would get a new guitar player. Obviously not, when Jake came along, but it was always cool to hear what a new guitar player and Ozzy would sound like, how it would change the sound, how the, you're kind of knowing that the theme of the songs are kind of going to be the same, but it was always cool to hear what the new guy was going to do. And like you said, when you put on like Miracle Man, you were like, holy shit, like talk about just kicking you in the head right off the bat. No Rest has my favorite Ozzy song in there, Bloodbath in Paradise. Just a great, I think we did that album. Someone did it recently on the show here. But just absolutely killer. Van Halen 84. It's the deep tracks on here.
Yeah.
It's the deep tracks.
Definitely.
Top Jimmy. Probably, I think it was when Dylan was going to Ithaca, and my wife and I were going up to pick him up the one day for the weekend or something. And I had a mixed, it was probably a mixed CD at the time. And Top Jimmy came on. And she's like, is this Van Halen? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, I never heard this one before. And she's like, I really like it. I was like, whoa, okay. But like the deep tracks, like you said, like House of Pain.
Girl Gone Bad.
Like Girl Gone Bad. But you know what? Even I still love Jump. Hot for Teacher, I will never turn off because you cannot not see the video when you see that. I'll Wait. That is the song that never was, that should have been for Van Halen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It would have been a great ballad for the time. They could have did a cool video for it. Like you have the fun video for Panama, you have the fun one for Hot for Teacher. Could have did a little more serious type one for this, and I think it would have fit in good with those two. But just a great album. You got the cool cover, little guy having a smoke there. Dio, Last in Line. I was already a fan of Dio, thanks to Chris's brother Ed. Is why I'm a Dio fan as well. Because he made me a copy of the Holy Diver tape, right? I think he let me borrow his, I think. And I was hooked right from like the first one. But then when Last in Line came out, and I consider that like my Dio album, because like that's the first one that I got since I became a fan. You know how that kind of goes. And I got to see him on that tour. So I'm in Philadelphia. They videoed it for a special at the Spectrum. Myself and Rob went with Mike Galati, and Chuck Heinowski was the kid that drove. 1,800 miles an hour down the fucking turnpike. But the show was great. The album, and it kind of gives you that atmosphere of the cover of the album. Like you said, great stuff on there. Like Breathless is great. One Night in the City. Egypt, The Chains Are On is fantastic. Just a great all-around album. And Def Leppard, Pyromania, their second best album. But I really... and actually, I'm going to put this album on going home tonight. And I haven't listened to it in a while. And you're right, it's the deep tracks on there. Like Billy's Got a Gun, Stage Fright, Coming Under Fire, like songs like that. Like you're not. It's another one. You're not skipping the hits either.
Yeah. Because
they're so good. And I'm so glad that Bringing On the Heartbreak is on High and Dry, because that one I'm totally fucking burned out on. But I could have easily picked these 4 albums.
Yeah. Nice. Dylan.
Yeah, Hysteria, a really great pick. No, so Pyromania is a really good pick. I whenever I hear Pyromania, I always think of the movie Balls of Fury. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like a ping pong movie.
Ping pong.
And the main character, Randy Daytona, is he kind of goes undercover in this like ping pong, syndicate. And he loves Def Leppard, and he listens to Def Leppard all the time. And he comes out to Rock of Ages and like kind of pantomimes the beginning of it with "All right, I got something to say," and then like the boombox gets shot. But I always think of that. But it's a great album, and it stands the test of time. And I think Rock Rock Till You Drop is a great opener to the album, and just one that I always get very excited when I hear. Last in Line, not the Dio album I go to, but it is one of the Dio albums that I'm familiar with. We Rock, I Speed at Night, the title track, all fantastic Dio songs, and it's definitely a great album. As is 1984. Like you all said, the really popular tracks are popular for a reason, but the deep tracks are definitely worth diving into if you haven't. It's an album that I actually go to the least in the Dave catalog, and I don't know why, but it's the one that I go to the least.
Because Jump puts you off at the beginning, I think.
Maybe. But yeah, that's the one that I go to the least. And then No Rest for the Wicked, great introduction to a guitarist with, Miracle Man right off the rip. Again, Demon Alcohol, Dad's Favorite Hero, just a lot of great songs on this album. And I associate you with Zach Wyeth, so it wouldn't be right if you didn't have a Zach Ozzy album on your list. So I think I could understand all these being go-tos when you have nothing to listen to.
Nice. All right, BC, bring it home there, kiddo.
All right, deal. I mean, going back to this time, I can remember everything's coming out, and you want to get everything, but you don't have enough money to get everything, so I would do anything for money to get easy.
Oh,
That's a YNT song.
I got $2.
I'll give you money.
I can't buy a CD.
Anyways,
I remember getting this. I remember picking up this album, and I was like, I don't know, like you said, the hits are hits, but when you had these albums, you loved every single song.
Yep.
Even the ones that were not even the greatest back then. You still love them because you had it in your hands.
And you had the time to spend with it,
You
too.
had the time to spend with it more than nowadays. Van Halen, 84. Yeah. It's the songs that are not the hits. I Wait. Love that song. Like you said, that should have been a hit, but whatever. But Def Leppard. I played the shit out of this fucker. My Sony Walkman. I remember being in a car with my mom going over to the Hideout because Uncle Jerry was living at the Hideout at the time. Fucking play this. And I want to say Rat Out of the Cellar between those songs. Shout. And at that time was just crazy amount of music at the time. And then Ozzy Osbourne. I remember this was the big thing. He was getting a new guitar player, and everybody's like, "Ooh, who's it going to be this time?" Ooh. Oh, he's 18 years old, and then I was probably 17, I think, 17 or 18 when this.
He's like, is it me?
Is it me? And I
Could have been you, BC.
Could have been me. And that was the big deal. We're like, holy shit, he's our age. He's fucking our age.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big thing. And then when this song came out, we're like, whoa. Like I said, every guitar player had their own feel. Even Brad Gillespie was with them for the tour.
They've always chosen well.
Always chose great musicians for him. But like Steve said, any one of these albums could have been on my list. I could easily probably come up with 20 albums.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, easy.
And I'm thinking, and I'm sitting here going, oh, yeah.
All right, there you have it. So we'll go around, we'll wrap up. And it's funny, too, because like I was thinking about it as everyone's talking about their albums, and I'm thinking, what albums would I think that these guys would have picked? I definitely would have put Dylan on Rumors, and I had you on Black Parade, My Chemical Romance. I had you on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Black Parade, but then I was like, I don't want to put two Rob Cavallo produced albums on there, so I picked American Idiot over Black Parade.
We would have never known.
Yeah,
we would have never known. And BC, I was kind of leaning a little bit towards the Dirty Looks, but the other ones could have went anyway. BB, I knew there was going to be a Zach. I figured No Rest, and I kind of figured Pyromania, but I thought you were going to go with 5150. I really
tugs.
did. And you surprised me with Dio too.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So All right, so let's go around. We'll have our final say, and we'll roll out. What do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, I think these albums kind of really give a good summary of us as people. And it really goes to show that we each had connections with each other's albums, which I really liked. Seeing that some of the music is universal. And you could find comfort in anything that you listen to. And I think that everybody's picks were really indicative of who they were. So I'm really proud of everybody for going that direction. You could listen to a selection of stuff from everybody's albums except for Diving for Pearls on the Spotify playlist of the week. And the selection that you'll be hearing from me are the albums Rumors from Fleetwood Mac, Among the Living from Anthrax, American Idiot from Green Day, and Welcome to Horrorwood, The Silver Scream 2 from Ice Nine Kills.
BB.
This is the one thing I love about this podcast. It's just the timeline that we cover, from Styx, Grand Illusion, from Ice Nine Kills. Like, it's such a wide range of years. Two totally different bands, and we fill in everything in between. Even though, we kind of, the three of us, the foundations are very similar. Just the albums that we kind of all talked about, like learning each other over the last 8 years, and kind of thinking of who's going to pick what. You're probably there, this, that. I absolutely love this episode. And then the stories kind of behind why you pick them. So like for me, I said it was more of a comfort thing. Def Leppard, Pyromania, Dio, Last in Line, Van Halen, 1984, and Ozzy, No Rest for the Wicked. And I'm very, and we all knew each other's albums, even though Dylan's were a little odd, but we already covered them on the podcast. BC, I have a little homework. I'm gonna listen to that tomorrow, and I will text you tomorrow and say, hey, why the hell are you listening to this album? But
are you drinking again?
Are you drinking again? Are you drinking on the bookmobile again? But no, everybody had a great pick, great episode, great topic. Randy loved it.
All right, BC.
All right, yeah. I mean, totally fun episode to think back and then hear everybody's picks. I mean, for Dylan, who brings in the newer stuff that I know I would have listened to if it wasn't for him being here. Okay, Fleetwood Mac, Anthrax, bands that I would listen to, he listens to. It's just everything you had was brought back some kind of memory of some kind.
It's just a little bit of the age thing.
Going in the car with my mom, Death Leppard, I remember that. And then when No Rest for the Wicked was coming out, I remember being in the hallway behind the auditorium in the band room. My locker was in there, and everybody's coming up. What do you think it's going to be? And it was this kid from New Jersey. Holy fuck, It's funny how this shit brings up shit. I don't remember what I did this morning, let alone an hour ago, probably. But I can remember the shit from back in high school or whatever concerts and music and everything. It's just so powerful.
Much to the chagrin of our wives.
Yeah, as they go, I told you that. I don't remember you telling me that. Oh no, but you remember a concert from 1981.
What's your point?
What's your point? What's your point? But it's just so cool, and you can go on forever. Like I said, easily probably 20 albums that when you sit there and really delve into it, like, oh, that's such a great,
Yeah, I enjoyed this one, and actually, we covered albums from 1974 to 2021, so we covered 47 years worth of music between the four of us tonight. Obviously not every year, but we literally went from 1974 to 2021. And you're right, BC. Like it was easy to do this, but it was difficult to do this because you'd think, okay, what do I go to, and then boom, 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 like somebody pop in your head. But then I kind of really narrowed it down, and I did kind of what BB. I didn't verbalize it, but I did kind of what BB. I went to my roots of what, I have Kiss in there, and then I have two bands that broke me away from Kiss, and then I had a newer band that I was rocking to like when I was in high school. So that's kind of where I went with mine. And like I said, like the only one I didn't know with like everyone else on here besides BC was Diving for Pearls. I'm sure I've heard them. I'm sure I've heard that song, and I will seek them out. BB's gonna steal the Dirty Looks CD, and I'm gonna take the Diving for Pearls one.
That's right.
And the cases are
The
there.
case
the CDs,
is there.
The
The
CDs,
CDs are in our buckets.
Yeah. So, but I thought this was a fun one. I thought it would be, I tried not to like, I didn't want to say, okay, everyone give us the albums. I wanted it to be like, you pick what you pick, and because I didn't want to have, pick something the same as someone else and say, no, that's already picked, because, this is your own personal choice. And I was wondering today, like, is anybody going to pick the same album? Like, probably between us three, meaning myself, BB, and BC, or
close.
or me and BC. You know what I mean? But like, besides Diving for Pearls, between us three, I mean, I could have picked any of those albums that BC has. I have all, actually, including Dylan's. I have all these albums on vinyl, with the exception of Green Day and Diving for Pearls. and you know what? But I do not have the self-titled LA Guns on vinyl. I do not have it. I thought I did. You got an extra copy for me? I'll take that autographed one.
I got an autograph by the band copy.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, but this was great. I really enjoyed doing this one, and always fun doing these ones. We got some cool stuff coming up. Once again, last week's episode was fucking awesome. I really enjoyed that, and like I said, even if the outcome wasn't what it was, I still would have really enjoyed it, because I was really looking forward to doing it. And we got another cool one coming up next week, and a lot of cool stuff down the road. And for those of you that we're going to send something to Dylan for an episode coming up, I urge you to please get them in and send them to the podcast email. If you don't know what we're talking about and you would like to be involved, shoot Dylan
a message, please. Don't shoot me.
Yeah, don't shoot him a message, or shoot a message to the podcast email, potterthanhellpodcast@gmail.com. Dylan will be reading them. I will not be reading them, for a reason that will be obvious when we do it. So everyone out there, thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging with us. And always great doing this. I love that we are in the same room together when we do this. Everybody, thank you. If you're a vintage listener, welcome back. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a new listener, go back. We have 8 years worth of episodes there. We've not missed an episode in 8 years, and we do not plan on missing any coming up. So thank you for listening. Everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.